Yes, ma'am.
My voice is clear.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
you are audible, but the slide is not visible to me.
That means this is a thing. All others can see the slides.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
If all others can see the slide, that means this is your particular problem. So just try to check all the arrangements that you have done with your system. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
There is problem somewhere in the system, so that you will have to check.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And now, so what I was talking about was, I don't know why today we are having so many problems. We never had these problems. Okay, let me open the slides again. Yeah. So in introduction, yeah, that there is a blend of Senecan tragedy, right, and nationalist taste. So what do we mean by nationalist taste? This we will be discussing later. So Gorboduc was a new kind of drama, getting initiated into English public. Now see the how terms are changing. First it was when we talked about plays, we talked about queens, we talked about courtiers. Now what we have done, that courtiers term is replaced by what? By English people. By people we mean common people. Okay, so English people began to develop their own ideas or their own kind of practices. So this is reflected in literary practice. Society was changing, so change in the society is reflected in literary practices also, like drama, poetry. So these all also began to change. So see how from Bible to the, again I am repeating these things, how from Bible to stories of saints to this thing, feelings being personified, abstract values being
Are you audible?
personified. Yeah, it is there comes classical influences, but classical influences are also not adopted as they are. Only some parts of it are taken, which is and blended with nationalist taste. Okay, so what was the influence of Seneca? Seneca was very influential in Elizabethan times. This is very important. Seneca was important. So all of his 10 tragedies that he had written, they were published together in England. In Greece it was written. Seneca is Greek dramatist, but his 10 tragedies, all the 10 tragedies were published in 1581 in England, right? And common people, they found it very interesting, because till now what they had seen or what they had heard about was mystery plays, miracle plays. So Senecan tragedy was something new to them. Okay, so now in coming years people developed their own taste. So most of the plays began to cater to the amusement of miscellaneous, unscholarly public. This last line is very important. Plays were meant for instruction, to teach morality, to teach stories of Bible, right? But now that teaching part, didactic part is replaced by amusement. Plays are for amusement. Okay, for whom? Not for clergy and royal people and courtiers, but to miscellaneous, different kinds of unscholarly public, common people who are not scholarly, who are not well read. So theatre becomes open to all. Okay. So now drama comes for common man. Till now drama was meant for court audience. or for scholarly public. But now drama brought art in the form of theatre. Theatre is art, drama is art, closer to common man, away from the control of church and away from the graces of the court. Graces of the court means the courtiers played important part in deciding that which play should be there, played in church or cathedral. So most of the dramatic productions had patrons now to fund them. People from the society, who were rich people in the society, they put in money in the drama houses, playhouses. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
these
Yes,
platform,
ma'am.
these patrons were common man only, or were they? They must have been people with rich people, no? But they must have been. They were common man. Were they common man? The patrons. I mean.
Patrons say how society is changing. Society is gradually changing. Power was there, money was there in church first, right? But then society is changing and different kinds of businesses are coming up, right? So the people who are traveling, travel has started. They go abroad, they bring money, right? So in different ways they are getting rich. Now when they are getting rich, then they are putting in money in playhouses. They are becoming patrons. Now that theater or playhouse again becomes source of income. What kind of plays are being staged? Those plays which are liked by public. So they pay, they buy tickets. So playhouses are becoming profit earning places. Okay, so this is how this is what change in society is coming. Right. Now as we move again, what are the differences? See, in English Renaissance drama, the plots are different from what it was in Senecan tragedy. See, when we talk about Senecan tragedy, Seneca was writing very early, and in 4th century there came a philosopher, a critic, and he was so much together. His name was Aristotle. Okay, so Aristotle, on the basis of all these tragedies which were written by Seneca, which was written by Sophocles, Euripides, they were all Greek dramatists. On the basis of these drama, Aristotle had in his Poetics, that is the name of a book, in his Poetics he had laid down certain rules of tragedy. That tragedy should be written in such and such way. Okay, so Senecan model and other Greek models are slightly different, but basically all the rules are same. Okay, so now this Greek drama believes that the plot should be of certain kind, but English dramatists or English people want different kind of plot. What is it? Where lies the difference? That till now drama was meant for court audience, they were meant for scholarly people, but now drama comes to common people. Okay, so dramatic productions, this is repeated, they come here. So basically I think I have missed something. Maybe next I would have, no, I have missed something here. So no, the drama, what I have missed is, I can tell you orally now, don't go to the slide. The plots, okay, plots were the series of events, okay, but there were certain events which were not shown on the stage. It was believed that there should be only one plot, and that one plot means only one sequence of events should be there. There should not be any division. But English people wanted more than one plot. Right? This was the change. So basically, classical drama, there were 3 elements in classical drama, and which constituted principles of classic drama, and Elizabethan dramatists relaxed these principles, they loosened these principles according to their national taste. Right? What were these 3 principles? First was unity of subject. Unity of subject means Aristotle said in Senecan drama, if it is tragedy, it is going to be tragedy. Okay, there will nothing be like comic elements in it. If it is comedy, it is pure comedy. There will be no sad events in it. Okay, but then you would have observed, you know, in old movies, if you watch some tragic movie, everything sad is happening, and suddenly a comic character will pop up and will do something that will make you laugh, and again to the hospital scene or to the sad scene the story will go to. So that kind of that kind of appearance of comic character is called comic relief. So English people, they wanted comic relief in tragedy. Similarly, they did not want pure comedy. They wanted something which was serious also in between comedies.
Ma'am,
So
this classical drama do not include fusion of drama. It's just the
no,
same
nothing.
thing.
Yes, there is no blend, there is no fusion. But in Elizabethan drama, there is blending of comic and tragic elements. Right? There is blending. So Shakespeare's play, because Shakespeare belongs to Renaissance, age of Renaissance, we find that there is a comic interlude. Now here, see, you read what is interludes in last class.
Yes.
Okay, interlude means something that comes in between. So at that time, interlude means just a short drama, but here it means just a short piece, a small scene will come, a scene or two. One scene or 2 scenes which is comic in between tragedy. Similarly, in Shakespeare's comedies also we find that there are some serious moments. Not tragic moments, but some serious moments. So unity of subject which Senecan tragedy has, English drama, Elizabethan drama does not have. Okay, it has blending. That is the first point, first element of difference. Then coming to the second element of difference, that plot, which consists of sequence of events. Okay, in Senecan tragedy, suppose a war is fought. War scene will never be shown on the stage. Some murder takes place. That murder will not be shown on the stage. These things, they are reported by either, you know, it will be like on the stage there is king sitting and the messenger comes and reports that in war so and so things are happening, so many soldiers have died or so many enemies defeated. Such things. Blood is not shown on the stage. Okay, it is reported, or it happens sometimes like a group of singers, they come on the stage, and then these group of singers, they will tell what is happening somewhere else. They will report. Okay, so that is called chorus. So there was chorus or messenger. So dramatic action, some action which is dramatic by nature, you know, that can give shock to the audience. Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you voice again, because your voice was clean a little.
Okay, now is it clean? Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Please explain it again.
Okay. So what I am saying that on the stage, dramatic action was not shown in Senecan tragedy. Suppose there is a war scene. It will not be shown on the stage. Okay. Bloodshed, murder, something that can give shock to the audience. These things were reported by chorus. Chorus means group of singers would come on the stage, and then they will, in their song, through their song, they will tell what has happened outside stage. Okay. Or a messenger will come, and messenger will report to king or queen or whoever is there on the stage, and through that audience will know that something like this has happened on the stage, far from the stage. So Elizabethan,
no happening was enacted.
no dramatic action, something that would bring shock to the audience was acted on the stage. It was just reported in Senecan tragedy. But Elizabethan dramatists, they considered this very boring. Right? So they began to employ both action and narrative. Narrative means someone explaining, like chorus, messenger, that is also there. And at the same time, action is also there. Narration is there and action is there, but there was always predominance of action. Action was more, narrative was less. In Senecan tragedy, narration was more, action was less. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the third part that you were asking, 3 unities. 3 unities are unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. That means, by unity of time means that the entire story has to take place in a single day. 24 hours events will be reported in 3 hours. And in that, suppose something has happened years ago, chorus will come and narrate it. Okay, it will not be enacted. Similarly, scene unity of place means only one place. A person, how much can he travel in 24 hours? During those days, there were no means to travel. So reporting was also done taking into consideration of unity of time. Suppose a messenger comes, he said that I am coming from this and that kingdom, and so can he travel time span? That was taken into consideration. So unity of time. This and unity of place. Time and place should be in proportion. Okay, time, place, and action. Unity of action means there will be single storyline, one main plot, no subplots or no minor episodes. This is what Senecan tragedy was. Unity of time, place, and action. But then Elizabethan came. When Elizabethan playwrights, they began to come up with plots that would extend over months and years. Change of season they will show by changing the plants on the stage, through their costumes, wearing fur coats. Okay, it is winter, then it is summer. In this way, they would show that change of the seasons also. Okay, so here comes I think again someone has disturbed our presentation. Okay, now, okay, is it visible now? Elizabethan playwrights.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Elizabethan playwrights, they began to come up with plots that would extend over months, years, change of season. Yes. They changed the locations as well as they introduced subplots. Is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So see how we began writing about Bible and saints and all. Now how Elizabethans are gradually moving towards romantic drama. Okay. So this is the time when romantic drama emerged in the Elizabethan period. Elizabethan drama was of three types: comedies, then historical plays, history plays, or chronicles. Chronicles means telling how a person travels from one place to another. Chronicles, and tragedies. So the comedies were mostly from Italian or Latin references. Italian drama ko they used to translate into English in this way, right? So the love and tribulations, how to get your beloved, how to struggle. Okay, so love and tribulations were the major thing. Merchant of Venice, have you done? Have you
Yes,
studied?
I've read it.
Merchant of Venice. Again, you see for Portia, Bassanio would struggle so hard to get Portia. Okay, so such themes were coming up. So most of the Senecan plays were on war. Okay, so see here that early English drama was about Bibles and religion and morality, right? And Greek tragedy was about war. Senecan plays, they were about war. But Elizabethan drama was about love and tribulations. So through history plays and chronicles, English people could look at the glories past. This is why historical plays were written. See, our country has got such a bright, glorious past, and we have conquered so many lands. You know, at that time, colonization was on rise. Britain was becoming an imperialistic power, and it was conquering half of the globe at that time. So they were writing historical plays, and they were glorifying their uh, expansion, their progress, right? So this is about romantic drama. Now, important playhouses had emerged during Renaissance outside the city. Initially, they were outside the city limits, but gradually they gained acceptance and they came within the city. So important ones were in 1587, Fortune Rose came up. In 1591, Swan came up. In 1599, Globe was Shakespeare. Shakespeare was a very good businessman. He had earned a lot of money, you know. So he had his own theater to run his own plays. So Globe in 1599. In 1605, Red Bull. 1614, Hope. So we note here how various socio-political elements, political means political, some social elements, some political elements, they had come into being to help the emergence of Elizabethan romantic drama. So some very important Renaissance dramatists were William Shakespeare, who later wrote in Jacobean period also, Thomas Kidd. Actually, till 1603 we consider Elizabethan, Elizabethan age. 1603, you see that flow chart which I have posted on WhatsApp. So Thomas Kidd, then Christopher Marlowe, they all are Elizabethan romantic dramatists. Am I clear today?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You said in classical dramas there was no There was no action, only narrative. So there were no dialogues in classical drama.
No, no. This doesn't mean. It means simply that in. Excuse me, just. Yeah, what I mean to say is that those events which could shock the audience, those events were not shown on the stage. All dialogues were there, conversations were shown, but suppose there is war taking place, they will not show battlefield. They will not show that a soldier has slashed the head of the opposite army and that head is falling off. Such things would shock the audience. So such kind of events, that is bloodshed, such kind of dramatic action. Action was shown, but dramatic action, shocking action, that was not shown on the stage.
And ma'am, it is written that various socio-political elements, they had also come into being. So what were these socio-political elements? The interest of the public, or?
Socio-political elements means that it is now, first it was just church. Okay, is the scheme clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So by socio-political I mean social and political. That means political means it was church that was ruling, that was telling king that what should be done, what should not be done. So church was not just a religious place. It was also a political center because church guided king. Okay, so from the hands of church, see, when plays were played inside the church, how much control church had or religion had over people, right? Then from church, the plays moved to the cathedral, right? That means it has loosened a bit.
But the cathedral is also controlled by the church, no?
Yes, it is controlled by church. So church was having power, but somehow it was loosened. So they had at least power to show not just Bible stories, but stories of saints or the abstract values they were personified. This much of liberty dramatists took. Okay, and who were the dramatists? They were also people from church, or they were courtiers, right? But then change came in society as common people gained power. They gained business, right? So now these common people, they also wanted to enjoy, because theater was the only source of entertainment. So they too wanted to enjoy life. They too wanted a source of entertainment. So they did not want morality. They didn't want moral lessons. So what happened? Plays were banned and they were taken out of the city.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, there is this line, most of the playhouses initially were set up outside the city limits. So ma'am, still they were outside the city limits.
Yes.
These fortune rose in 1587.
Yes, because at any time these powerful people would come and shut down the theater. In the beginning, people used to secretly go to the theater and watch plays because it was considered immoral. Right? So
you were talking, was it during the Renaissance? That was in the beginning.
See, actually, there is no watertight compartment. It was during early Renaissance, or when the Middle Age was on decline. So when these two periods they were merging, the change is coming. That is socio-political changes. Okay, and finally, when they were accepted, theatres came to the city. That is why what we have done today is just the beginning of Renaissance. And then how Shakespeare and other dramatists, they flourished. They had business that is not only in one city but only in London, but they used to carry their theatre thing to different places, and they used to stage their plays at various places. It became very popular. Okay, so Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet. Shakespeare wrote so many romantic dramas, but these things could not be played during Middle Age when church was having all the power and the plays were played inside the church. Okay. So socio-political changes.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we can, I think, end the lecture here then. Can we leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
One more
ma'am.
question. Ma'am,
Yes,
one more
ma'am.
question.
Yes.
In last class, you said that by the mid 1550s, there was Renaissance was running high in Europe. So when you say Renaissance was running high, it means it was just beginning, right?
No,
It was
no. It was flourishing.
flourishing.
Renaissance was flourishing in Europe, not in England.
Okay, okay. During the mid 1550s.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Because Renaissance is a thing that has come from, Renaissance means revival. Revival of classical elements. Okay. That
Okay.
means by revival we mean something which comes again to life. Classical elements during Middle Age were removed from England. But during Renaissance age, they started following Senecan model, and they at the same time they also blended their national taste in it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yes.
So Renaissance was flourishing in Europe, but here in England was also experiencing arrival of Renaissance. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So here we leave, and maybe tomorrow we may or may not have our class. Okay, but Mondays certainly we will have. I'll send, and I'm sure that you are visiting Google Classroom also for the study material. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Yes,
you, ma'am.
ma'am.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.